The following video is made in dedication to the victims of the Nova Scotia shooting on Saturday, April 18th and Sunday, April 19th, 2020. Please be advised that this video does take in a topic of gun violence and shall not be repeated by anyone for any reason. The following video describes gun violence. Viewer discretion is advised. This video is made 18 plus for your viewing pleasure. Hey there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another Degrassi video. And today is Saturday, May the 2nd, 2K20. Today would have been the day of the Kentucky Derby, but of course, with all sports being canceled, not too happy about that. But anyway, enough about that. This Degrassi video is a very somber Degrassi video. And this has to do with gun violence in Degrassi. I have never done a gun violence Degrassi show, like a video. I've done plenty of videos on the Rick Murray situation, and of course that's with a gunshot. But I never talked about more in detail about other shootings and all that, other uses of guns in the Degrassi universe. So anyway, the first major use of a gun was in Degrassi High in season 2 in the two-parter called Showtime. In this episode, students are trying to audition for a spot in a very satisfying school production and all that. You know, people let go. Football players are wearing tutus. Snake and Joey are in costumes doing the Everybody Wants Something song from the Sits. So basically, yeah, Claude wants to recite a poem for the event, which is fine, but Claude's poem was deeply dark and not delicious, unlike the cake commercials from McCain. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that Claude's poem was very dark and was not really meant for the lighthearted talent show. Claude basically takes it as a sign that they don't like him and all that. What we don't know is that Claude has been going down a steep hill, and basically Joanne tries to help Claude out. Now, for disclaimer's sake, even though his name is spelled like Claude, C-L-A-U-D-E, in the show he's known as Claude. So yeah, that always is a sticking point. If you're French-Canadian, you know that it's Claude. But anyway, now I'm just wearing this shirt like randomly. I completely forgot I was wearing this. But anyway, doesn't matter. So anyway, so Joanne tries to help. So Joanna. I think it's Joanne. But anyway, Claude's got family problems. His dad doesn't want him around. His mom is remarrying, and the boyfriend doesn't like Claude. So Claude doesn't know what to do. Claude even talks to Caitlin and says about these things, but Caitlin is still pissed at him because Claude left Caitlin high and dry during an animal rights protest. Rightfully so. So basically, he then comes to Caitlin the next day and says, I won't be bothering you anymore. Good. And then we see Claude at his locker, and someone says, dude, you'll be late for class. I'm not going to any more classes. What good has this school gotten me? And we partially see, looks like a gun for some reason. So anyway, Claude walks down the hallway with it. Well, wrapped up in a towel and put it in his backpack. Snake needed to use the washroom and basically excused himself from Mr. Wallfish's class. So basically, he looks at one of the stalls and says, are you all right? And then he opens it up, and you see the shot of someone's leg sticking out, and then blood curdling down. And Snake opens up and goes, and then runs to see Radich, who is the vice principal of Degrassi High. He tells Radich all about it. They both run to the boys' bathroom and basically fix things up, and then the police have to come in to redirect people to another washroom. Soon all the teachers are notified what needs to be happening, and so they split up into different things. Mr. Wallfish, I would say Miss Avery, but I'm wrong. I don't know that female teacher. Because the female teacher was helping with the class that had Caitlin, Lucy, and Caitlin, Lucy, Susie, and a few other characters in it. So yeah, and then Radich was there with the class with Dwayne and his partners, his two partners in crime, Tabby and whatever the other guy's name is. I don't know, but anyway, and with Joanne, and basically makes the announcement about Claude's death and all that. Joanne says, "Why didn't I just do anything?" And Radich says, "I don't know what else you could have done for him, Joanne. I should have been there for him more so." And everyone comforts Joanne because she starts crying. And Radich makes a poignant speech about how suicide affects people. All of us feel overwhelmed sometimes, but it's imperative that we don't try to kill ourselves, commit suicide, because when we do, everything is over. I think he pretty much meant everything doesn't matter anymore. So yeah, so Joanne takes it hard. Mr. Wallfish tries to talk to his class about it. No, I think it was Spike with Lucy and Susie, not Caitlin. Caitlin was in Mr. Wallfish's class when she hears about Claude's death. So basically, Lucy says that he did it for attention because he was trying to make all the Degrassi students basically, cry it out for him and all that, like attention seeking and all that. Trying to make him look bad and all that, trying to make him feel that they're the reason why he killed himself. What's worse for Caitlin is that when she gets home, there's a bouquet of flowers with Claude sending a note to her, and it was really dark and all that. So Claude kind of knew what he was doing and was trying to make Caitlin look bad. Caitlin felt guilt and all that and had nightmares, but Joey tells her that it's not her fault. It's Claude's fault for trying to do something. So anyway, Claude Tanner is gone, and people don't know what to do about the talent show. Joanne wants it to be canceled, thinking that this is not a good idea at the time and all that. And then Spike comes up with the bright idea that they should do the talent show, but make it a benefit for suicidal teens, which is perfect. It's the best of both cultures. You still have the talent show, and you do something with Claude and all that, in honor of Claude. So that's the great plan. That storyline and what should have happened in Next Generation will follow when I talk about the next gun incident. So anyway, so they do the show. Will steps in for Snake to be Joey's partner in the talent show because of Snake's trauma, seeing Claude dead with the blood in the bathroom stall. So yeah, that was great. The next one, well, I actually was looking at Rick's Degrassi Wiki page, and it said that Rick was one of 4 characters in Degrassi history that shoots someone. So we'll just do that. Well, I'll throw the one about Spinner being shot by a guy by the name of Chris. Not the Chris that was Emma's boyfriend at one time. And then, of course, I'll talk about the other 2 later on and all that. So the next one, the next gun incident, of course, is the Rick Murray one. Now, I know I always drone on and on and on about it. I'm going to try my best to cut it down to about 5 minutes, if possible. Okay, so anyway, Rick, in Season 3, abused Terry so badly, he accidentally put her in a coma. He gets pulled out of school by his parents. I thought he was expelled, but no, he was pulled out of school by his parents, and then he's welcome to come back in Season 4. Everyone is sickened by it. The student body doesn't want an abuser back. The school board Raj can't do much because the school board and the police did not recommend getting rid of Rick. I think as I said, if a criminal charge against Rick was put in, Raj would definitely have to have thought twice about leaving Rick into the school. Now, Rick wanted to come back and make sure everyone changed. No, he's changed. I applaud that. But unfortunately, the student body would not let it happen. And then Paige and her group decided to have Emma try to destroy Rick. So they come up with the Orange Ribbon Campaign as a silent protest against domestic violence. Unfortunately, it turns out to backfire on Emma because everyone now takes the opportunity to beat up on Rick for what he did to Terry and all that. I mean, okay, yeah, a little bit of payback, but it was too much payback in a sense. And also, like Emma didn't foresee that men could be victimized by domestic violence too. Rick decides to give his money away to Emma for the cause. Rick actually wanted to apologize, but Emma actually refuses the check. But Alex butts in and chews them both out. Emma is shocked about Alex, saying that Alex doesn't know anything about the cause, but Alex did because Alex's mom had to deal with abusive boyfriends all the time. Fair play. So anyway, Emma's told not to be anywhere near Rick. Emma asserts that she's anti-Rick. But then when she protects Rick from a massive beating by Spinner, Jay, and maybe Alex, Emma's left her own devices, and basically no one wants to be around her. So basically Emma is without friends except for the Wacky Brain team. Rick finds this opportunity to realize that Emma might have loved him, but Emma thought doing the right thing would be the best possible thing. Although it did cost her not just popularity, but the support system. Because after all, she was without Manny and Liberty, who basically were upset about what she was going to do to Chris. So anyway, Rick is fine. He gets hit and all that, but he doesn't retaliate until he gets put in the dumpster by Jimmy and Spinner. He decides to spray paint the cars with a circle with the X on it as revenge, thinking that maybe how are they going to like it if I do to them, shoes on the other foot. It just makes them more pissed. Until Spinner, Jay, and Alex, basically the only three that really want to destroy Rick's lives. I know a lot of people didn't want Rick around, but they weren't like bullying him per se. So they decided to paint and feather him. Rick gets humiliated even more so when Emma basically lashes out at him after Emma gets kissed by Rick. So Rick finds his dad's gun, and we don't know what's happening. Could Rick have killed himself in his house? Maybe he takes the gun to the school and kills himself like Claude. But but we all know what happens. He takes the gun to try to get at Paige. But Paige admits everything was childish and all that. Now the good news is that Paige never saw the gun. And it would have been good news for Rick too, because Rick would have been found out. But Rick probably could have shot himself out of the situation. So anyway, Rick goes to the bathroom to clean up. He hides in the stall when he realizes that Spinner and Jay are there, and those two talk about how Jimmy set the whole thing up. So basically, Rick believes the bullies and decides to shoot Jimmy. He does shoot him in the back. Now remember, when Rick shot Jimmy, Rick had his head turned with the gun and all that. If Rick really wanted to hurt Jimmy so badly, he would have just point blank looked and went boom, instead of closing his eyes and turning the head. I don't think I did it right. Anyway, so then he finds Emma conveniently with Sean and Toby, and basically wants Emma to pay for spurning his advances. Sean tries to calm Rick down. Rick says, I can't do anything. I just shot somebody. So practically, Rick and Sean fight for the gun, and then the gun goes off. And then soon we learn that Rick was shot by his own gun. Sean may have accidentally shot Rick and pointing the gun right at him. And all that. Rick dies, and a lot of people are happy Rick died and all that. But of course, Degrassi's put on notice because of the bullying of Rick and all that. Sean leaves for Wasaga Beach, shaking that he just killed a kid. Now, the police would never have gone after him because the police knew that it was in self-defense. Rick had the gun, and Sean did try his best to calm everyone down. So practically what ends up happening is that, Sean leaves for Wasaga Beach, and we thought that was the end of him until season 6. Of course, Rick's death. And of course, Rick's actions caused a lot of ripple effect in the Degrassi series. Most notably, Emma's free fall from being herself. Basically, everyone thinks she'll bounce back, but she couldn't fight back. She was hiding the fact that she felt guilty over the Rick situation, the bullying and all that. She even said so in secret. Part 2, she said that when Rick got shot, it just shocked me and all that because of how Rick got bullied and all that, and she kind of contributed to it. But I think it was just pure bad luck. But yeah, the shooting really affected everyone. Well, of course, Spinner and Jay got expelled for their actions and all that. But of course, the main event was how it had the school play. Kind of like Showtime in Degrassi High. There was a play going on at the same time. This time it was Dracula. JT and Liberty put on a great show for the drama club and basically put on a good show for Miss Kwan and a few teachers. Sadly, though, Raj said that we can't do this because of the tragic events of Rick Murray's thing. I mean, fair enough. He does have a point. And you know how Degrassi is basically being shunned and all that. Liberty and JT argue that we have to move on and all that. Fair enough. I take that too. Unfortunately, unlike the Showtime compromise that they would still go ahead with the event and have it for bullied or suicidal teens, Raj basically wants a musical to pinpoint how great Degrassi is. Now, of course, there's the backstory of it being maybe because, well, there's two things. A, Degrassi's being shot upon on the news, and basically they want Degrassi to be a normal school. And two is Raj's reputation and all that. He wants to do it to hide the fact that he may have done something wrong about it. So he doesn't do the compromise, but neither do the students. Fair enough. But yeah, Liberty decides to sing a bad song about Raj in front of him. Raj reacts by sending them to money detention. Liberty and JT are now a couple. And then a few days later, Raj is out the door. He got reassigned to another school because of his lack of effort towards saving Rick's bacon. And of course, we all know that he ignored Rick's warnings and all that. Now, the problem is, and I'm going to stand up for Raj on this, is that Rick wasn't straightforward either. If Rick was more straightforward, I think Raj would have taken him seriously. And remember, that deleted scene, there was a deleted scene that Raj was going to help Rick whenever possible. He went 180 on Rick. And stupidly, it was not in. I mean, I know that the writers probably knew what they were doing, but that could have changed things. That could have given more sympathy to Radic. He was going to fix it. And of course, Radic didn't help in the aftermath, and that was just the last straw. I think he would have been axed even if he didn't do the bad aftermath. I mean, even if he figured out a little Spinner and got Spinner to confess everything and basically fixed the school a little bit, he might have just either been canned no matter what. But at least he goes out on a high note. I don't think he went out on a high note. I think he went on a melancholy note. So yeah, so that shooting was huge and all that. I devoted a lot of time to it. I know that took about 8 minutes, but yeah, better than most times. Okay, so anyway, there was another shooting in Degrassi history, and this was in season, I want to say 11. I think it was 11 because Vince wanted revenge on Drew. Drew and Bianca were being attacked by Anson, Bianca's ex, and Anson wanted to destroy Drew. But Bianca picks up a rock and kills Anson with the rock. Drew takes the fall for Bianca, knowing that she had a lot to lose if she was in trouble with the cops. Unfortunately, Vince forces Bianca to perform sexual favors on him. I think as a way of saying that if you do things my way, I won't go after Drew. But Bianca stands up to him, and basically Drew is in trouble. So Vince shoots Adam and Damon. Adam being Drew's brother. Quote-unquote brother, if you will. So basically he shoots Adam, I think in revenge. But Vince gets caught, I believe. Someone caught him. And all that. So anyway, yeah. Now there were 7 characters to be shot. Yeah, Rick Murray was one of 7 characters that got shot. Claude got shot. Jimmy got shot. Thanks to Rick. Sean got shot. Sean got shot? I didn't think Sean got shot. How did he get shot? Spinner, I know, got shot in that robbery. Adam got shot because of Vince. And Damon got shot because of Vince. How did Sean get shot? I thought Sean wasn't shot. I thought the gun was pointed at Rick and he got killed. Anyway, Rick Murray was the second character to bring a gun to the school. Claude was the first. Then you got Casey, Eli, Vince, and Hunter. Casey was because his basketball coach, Coach Carson, basically wanted something to do with Casey. And like Casey so much, he would make a prostitute for Casey, but Casey was upset. So basically, yeah, Casey brought the gun to school, but it wasn't his gun. It was Coach Carson's gun because Coach Carson threatened him with a gun if Casey didn't listen to him. And so basically Coach Carson gets arrested and all that. Eli brought a gun to the school to protect himself against Fitz, I think. I can't remember. I think it was against Fitz. Vince brought the gun to school. And then you got Hunter to bring a gun to the school. While Hunter was suffering from depression, anxiety, and basically misogynist behavior about the gaming club and all that. It was all boiling over, and then Hunter wanted to destroy some lives because they were making him look bad. So basically, he brought the gun to school. Thankfully, Miles was there to intercept him. And I think that Principal Simpson said something to Hunter saying that, bringing a gun to the school was not the best idea because he knew about the Rick Murray situation and how the school failed to handle that. So practically, I think that the Rick Murray situation was spotlighted with Hunter. Hunter went to rehab and basically got to be a better person, in a sense. Yeah, I know how you feel. So anyway, that's all I've got. I don't want to dwell too much into gun violence, and thankfully enough, it was about 20 minutes. That's not half bad. So anyway, thanks for watching this special Degrassi show, and we'll see you in the future.